Peace family. So I'm back with another one. Today what I wanted to do was I wanted to talk to my chosen ones about how we do not follow the creator for outcomes. We just be trusting it all. You know what I mean? We don't follow the creator for outcomes. And what kind of brought me to this subject and made me want to touch base on this is just kind of my own real life experiences. Then I got a couple people outside of me who's going through some things as well, and they're not really fully engulfed into the creator's playbook the same way as I am. They kind of bounce back and forth, leaning more towards the other playbook. But when I say, or when that statement is made, we don't follow the creator for outcomes, meaning we don't just go to the creator or God or the higher frequency for things that we need, or you know, when we in some desperate situation, or when we got our back against the wall, you know what I mean? We go to the creator and we just trust it all. When I say we trust it all, meaning if the creator is moving us over to the left, it don't feel right, because we got to learn something to grow, we still gonna go and we still gonna trust it. If the creator is moving us in a more righteous, higher vibrating frequency light, we're going to be a little bit fearful, because, you know, with new levels, is new devils. So, you know, but we're going to take it that on, but we still going to trust that process. You know what I mean? And when we trust in the creator, it's kind of like the opposite of the blind leading the blind. You know what I mean? Like, we are walking down this unknown path, but we trust our leader. We trust the path that we're on with everything that's in us. So you could be at your lowest depths, you still gonna be talking to the creator, the God, whatever you want to call him. You know, you still gonna be speaking to that frequency, that vibration, the same as you would as if you was up. You know what I'm saying? So low meaning like, it don't have to be somebody who has money. A low for them may be like their health is doing really bad. You know what I'm saying? Somebody who don't have money may have really good health, but their finances is making them feel like they at a low space. You know what I mean? So, and actually the people who got the lower finances, who are actually better within, actually tend to have more power and more stability in the spiritual realm. It may not always reflect, because we seesaw back and forth between being a slave, working these jobs. Oh, I need to work so I could pay these bills. It's other means and other ways we can live, but we all choose to conform to how our societal structure is met. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of us, like, we got vehicles, we got enough that, you know, we could get Sprinter vans, tents. It's all kind of methods, you know what I mean? But we choose to put that pressure on us so we can fit in with society and say, oh, I got an apartment, I got a house, I got a car, you know what I'm saying? Or I got these other couple luxury items, blah, 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 etc. But the thing is with us is like, we see the fruits, we see the results from following that path, you know, with the creator, from trusting the creator blindly, you know, because the unknown space can be very scary for people who aren't used to being in that space, and it still carries a little bit of fear for the beings who are used to being in that unknown space. You know what I mean? So the unknown spaces, you can kind of direct your path in the unknown space, or you can kind of flow like the water. Just follow the current when you're in that unknown space. The only thing is, when you follow the current when you're in the unknown space and you don't really know how to navigate sailing, it can drift you and turn you to different places. You know what I mean? So you can end up off at an island when you was really trying to go a different direction. But because you still trust the creator in the process, you figured out, okay, the creator took me to this island for a reason. You start figuring out different things of, you done found different fruits, veggies, spices, you know what I mean? You done found different like resources you could use to take back to your community, tribe, wherever it is, you know, to kind of help build everything upward. But for me, when I start hearing that statement and just feeling it, I just kind of started, it just kept flashing through to me. And it's just like, it don't matter how many obstacles we get thrown at us or how many obstacles we have to go through that. Let's say we forgot to do one thing and now we put our own self in these situations to where we got to go take on these obstacles. We may have a little bit of pressure, anxieties, fears, but the difference with us with being in these spaces is our team overpowers all of those little emotions, feelings, all those little thoughts, because whatever wolf you feed is the one that's going to win the fight. I heard this statement years ago and it just always stuck with me because it's so simple. It's like sometimes we hear the simplest things and that's what sticks with us to help us be able to correlate things together. And the statement was just like, you got a good wolf and a bad wolf fighting. Which one wins the fight? And when you think about it, and you just start processing, you go through a lot of different angles. And once you slow your mind down, you actually can go to a simplified form and you'll start to perceive it as, okay, well, in order for one wolf to get stronger than the other one has to either be working out more or eating more. It has to be doing something to build his strength up and his tolerance up to be able to manage himself in these battles. So a lot of us, when we were younger, some of that bad wolf was getting fed, because we didn't have anybody teaching us or showing us any differently. So, and that just comes with us trusting the creator in the process. All right, we taking these steps right here. We don't have no guidance or directions, but boom, it didn't work out. I learned. Everything you run into isn't always going to be something dramatic or traumatizing. A lot of things you have to lose in order to learn. And I don't mean like you got to lose everything in your life. I'm just talking about like you got to lose in the game. You got to like lose being the first one to work. Like it's certain things you got to lose not being able to catch the red light. There's certain things we have to learn, but we don't learn without being in those situations and circumstances. Everybody feel as though like they can be this light being, this light worker. They want to move so righteously. Stay away from the dark energy. But it's like you would never understand the light if you didn't take a walk in the dark. You would never understand the light if you didn't take a walk in the dark. So it's kind of like how, I just take for example, because they could be actually being taught something different. So for somebody want to take and flip it. But you can look at in the States, we got the Amish. They are actually able to just kind of like live off the land. So they're only engulfed into their world. Now, if you start just letting a bunch of demons and a bunch of weird witchy people in there, all them Amish people is going to be like, they're going to be experiencing a lot of weird stuff because they hadn't taken that kind of walk through the dark. So their kind of walk that they have to take is just, staying disciplined, which is actually pretty tough in the Western society, but they're on land, so it keeps them out the realm of constantly being in this consumerism space. You know what I mean? But it would make them, it would dilute their whole thought process. They would turn into the new Muslim women that come over here from other states. You got a lot of women and people that come over here. Don't even just have to be women. People that come over here from different states. But I say women because women is the one who they giving the power to over here in these states, which is why this shit is falling to shits. That's clearly going against natural law. Not taking anything away from women, but trying to put women in all these power positions, do all this weird shit, is taken away from natural law. Natural law shows that, okay, if it wasn't a bunch of men saying, hey, they should be in this position, then it would be men, I don't want to say, it would be men managing all those spaces and areas, but they would be doing it from a more righteous standpoint. See, a lot of us are in places and spaces where we don't trust the leaders, we don't trust the people around us, so then it makes everything a lot more trickier, just even having to deal with or communicate with people. You know what I mean? But we just be trusting it all. We be trusting it all. I could think of a lot of situations where I was in the middle of some mess, or I was like at a crossroad where I was like, my physical body pleasures is right here, but my spiritual fulfillment is right here. You know what I mean? And this is usually a good weight balancing being where, you know, the enemy likes to dive in between there and do his thing to kind of shift you back towards, you know, your body, your physical needs and wants. You know what I mean? Opposed from holding your responsibilities and disciplines in the spiritual realm. But I know a lot of us get twisted up too, trusting the process, because it's like we don't want to go. Everybody don't want to go work these corporate jobs. You know, everybody don't want to sit around and slave all day, even though you have to figure out where you want to overly grind at. You know, so if you're not going to go down into one of these corporate locations, then you got to figure out where can you overly, excessively grind at. You know what I mean? And for a lot of us, we wouldn't have made it to this space where we was at if we wasn't just trusting it all. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's been plenty of times where I done went to a creator where I was in a bad situation, but it's been plenty of times where I had just having a regular day, not an up day, not a down day, just a regular day, and I still keep my communication airtight with the creator like this. You know what I mean? Just so that way, it's kind of like brushing your teeth every day. You know what I mean? Like, you don't always see everything that you're removing, but you know you're brushing it, and it makes you feel better. So when you feel better, you know, you tend to operate in a better light, in a better frequency. You know, we know everything isn't based off feelings, but feelings is a part of the recipe. So don't allow these robots and these zombies to have you mushing or pressing your feelings to the side. What you do is look at your feelings in a percentage scale when you have hard situations, whether you gotta make hard choices or decisions, or whether it's like you have to do something or receive something. Anything in these realms, you know, everything is a recipe. That's what I always like to explain and push outwardly. Everything is a recipe. So I would never go into like I would never go into a new space that I'm unaware of. It's unknown. It does have a little bit of fear attached to it, but I don't have that concept of, hey, this is just a little piece of the recipe. You still need a couple other elements to this recipe. Because we already know anything you tend to do is going to have a little bit of fear sprinkled on it. You could be getting your nails done, got a little bit of fear. Getting your hair done, a little bit of fear done. You run to the corner store, a little bit of fear. Just getting in the car, going there, getting out the car. You know what I'm saying? Everything has a little bit of fear. But just because it has a little bit of fear don't mean that that's going to take over your life. Some of us only live when these little things that I just named. Our fairness levels could be on like 1 to 3, 1 to 4 out of a 1 to 10 scale, you know. But it's some beings who live with that fear at the forefront of them, and their fear levels are at 8, 9, 10 and above and beyond. So, you know, anybody with fear levels that's that high, their anxiety, quote unquote, is gonna be through the roof. They call it anxiety, but it's really just they have so much fear flowing through their body that it's hard for them to process anything else outside of survival mode and what if, you know, all these what if factors. I don't live by what if, you know. If anything, it is what it is. You know, that was my statement when I was in high school before I even was at the space where I'm at today. You know what I mean? But we don't be just following the creator for the outcomes. We just be trusting it all. We wouldn't be where we at today if we didn't just trust the process. You know what I mean? Even when it was times where you did have to put your hands up and then people started attacking you and punching you and beating you. You gotta remember, like, we are breaking generational curses. We are trendsetters in the spiritual realm for this day and age. I don't mean fashion statement trendsetters. I'm talking about you are the checkpoint marker for a lot of people to either shift this way spiritually in the spiritual realm or shift that way in the spiritual realm, meaning the beings from within. All this physical stuff is secondary. You know what I mean? We just be trusting it all. You know what I'm saying? That's why we always got that big hand on our back that's rubbing us and soothing us. Or you got that big warm energy just giving you a nice big warm hug, just making you feel all nice on the inside. It's like when you actually get to experience it and feel this, like it the same way I could just naturally smile like this and it just comes so naturally, it's demons out here who are just naturally frowny. So when I see people who naturally just frown, if y'all see me frowning outside like this, y'all already know, like, that's from the sun. Because naturally, you know, the wrinkles aren't there. I'm not naturally a frowny person. I'm naturally a relaxed being, and I'm smiling more. Even though I am a warrior, you know what I mean? But you got a lot of beings who happen to be in those weird spaces, and they're naturally frowny. So you have to understand, for people to be naturally frowny, your muscles have to work. You, in the inside, have to create an environment in your inner space to frown your muscles like this. Nobody's muscles is just naturally like this. So that means the thoughts that they're thinking, the places that they're traveling to, are not good places and spaces. You know what I mean? So even when some people get told to smile sometimes, you gotta understand some people's spaces. It's the difference between a resting face and a frowning face. You can see the muscle tension in the face. It's a lot of things that go into communication and just in us engaging with all these different beings out here. I even get into a habit of telling my daughter, don't touch everything at the store. Not because of germs, because it's different energies that's been touching these things. You don't know what the hell somebody's vibration was before they came by and touched the same item that you touching. You know what I'm saying? We know what time it is. But I ain't want to run it up too long, you know what I'm saying? I definitely appreciate everybody that's been tapping in, showing love. Everybody that's been down in the comments showing love. I definitely appreciate all the support from everybody reaching out on my Instagram. I had a couple people hit me on my Facebook. I gotta get the name, but I did have one subscriber that's been following me for over a year, and I feel bad that I don't even have the name because it just kind of came off the top of my head to kind of remember to kind of give that energy back out. But much appreciation and love. I'll make sure that I'll look for it and I'll mention the name in the next one. But they actually started clipping some content for me, just kind of helping me in the area so I can get some more shorts and stuff. But I thought that was huge because I am working a lot of stuff over here, and as y'all can see, I don't clip very many shorts or stuff like that into my content yet, just because I'm a full-time dad, I'm a full-time warrior. You know, I gotta grind full-time because the system ain't gonna give me the bag from doing it this way. You know, so when I do it this way, this is just me doing it just because this is what I love to do and give this vibration to the universe. You know what I mean? But I appreciate all the love and support, you know what I'm saying? Tapping everything down below. Peace and love to the kings and queens.